Do you or one of your loved ones suffer with eczema? Do you or someone you know suffer from eczema? I sound like a commercial, I know. I did for years, and in this series of videos, I'm going to be spilling all my secrets for how I healed my eczema. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Britt Brings It Home. For those of you that haven't seen one of my videos yet, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to check out my channel. My name is Britt, and I am a lover of all things healthy and organized living. I feel like everyone that's into health and wellness has a story of how they got there. Whether they're a doctor or a health coach, a naturopathic doctor, chiropractor, or just someone that loves health and wellness. I feel like they are there for a reason. Something brought them to that point. I am a Christian. I am a believer in God, and I believe that God has a plan for each of us. He has something set for each of us, and we should seek His will and go where He leads us to go. And I think sometimes He places obstacles in our lives so that we can use those things to help other people with those same obstacles. If you're watching this, I'm guessing that you probably have your own health journey that you're on. Maybe you have eczema, maybe one of your kids has eczema, maybe a friend has eczema. So I love health and wellness. I love learning new things about health and wellness and what I can do to be a healthier person. And it all started with eczema. I don't think I would be here with Britt Brings It Home, my YouTube channel, or my blog if it wasn't for eczema. Does that mean that I like eczema? Absolutely not. That's a big fat no. But in a way, I'm glad that God put that into my life and let me deal with that so that I could hopefully help other people that suffer with the same thing. And so that I could learn about eczema and heal that, but then also along the way, learn about other ways that I can improve my health and the health of my family. So eczema started for me about 15 years ago. And so I had eczema for a long time, and then I was able to heal it and learn more and more things about how to heal it. And so I'm going to be making a series of videos all about eczema. I'm going to share my story with eczema, how I got it, what it was like, and how I went about healing it. So stick around for these videos to find out more about eczema and how to heal eczema. So in this video, first of all, I'm going to share some about what eczema is, in case you don't know, and I'll share about my eczema story. So first of all, what is eczema? Eczema, also known as atopic dermatitis, is inflammation of the skin. Eczema creates dry, itchy skin. And there's different kinds of eczema, and eczema can affect different people differently and in different places. It can also be caused from some different things, and we'll talk later about what it can be caused from. So when I was looking up statistics, I was actually shocked at how many people have eczema. Eczema affects 25% of children and 10% of adults, which when you think of eczema, most people think, of children with eczema, but 10% of adults have eczema. That's a lot more than I thought it was. So are you one of those 10%? I sure hope not. I do not wish eczema on anyone. It is definitely not fun. So, like I said, I've learned a lot over the years about eczema, and one thing that I did not know when I first got eczema is that it is an autoimmune disease. A study done in 2014 proved that eczema is, in fact, an autoimmune disease. In case you don't know, an autoimmune disease is where your immune system attacks cells in your body. It attacks cells that look like foreign invaders, or they think are foreign invaders. And so they unleash inflammation and they try to get rid of that foreign invader. So there are different types of autoimmune disease depending on where your immune system is attacking. So probably the most common autoimmune disease that people think of when they hear autoimmune disease is rheumatoid arthritis, and that's where your immune system attacks your joints and causes a lot of pain in your joints. Okay, so that's a little about what eczema is. So now to my eczema story. I started showing signs of eczema when I was a junior in high school, so 17 years old. canceled, all of a sudden my eyelids started to get really red and flaky and itchy. And I thought it was an allergic reaction to the makeup I was using. So I stopped using that eyeshadow and I switched to a different brand. And I also got some hydrocortisone cream from Walmart or somewhere like that and put it on my eyes to help with the itchiness. And it went away until it came back. It came back again when I was in college. The same thing happened off and on my eyes for a little while, and I was even using some what I thought was better makeup instead of using like the cheap eyeshadow from Walmart like CoverGirl. I switched to using Clinique eyeshadow, which, I thought, oh, this shouldn't cause me problems. Well, it did, but it's just on my eyes, not too bad. After I graduated college, my husband and I got married, and after that, the eczema started to show up more and more and in more places. So it gradually started to show up on my hands. That was the main place. And then also like along my bra line and in my armpits and on my neck. And the type of eczema I have, when I have a flare up, it gets really red and dry and itchy. And then I get these little bubbles. And I would scratch and these bubbles would like burst and it would just be like oozy and wet and itchy and gross. At this point, it was so bad, like the skin was just so dry, it would, crack open and I would have open sores all over on my hands. It was bad. So to help with that, I would put Neosporin on those open cuts to, heal them. And I would put more hydrocortisone cream on my hands to help the itchiness. I went to the doctor for the first time when my hands were so bad and they had lots of open sores on them, and the hydrocortisone cream wasn't working. Up until this point, I hadn't actually been diagnosed with eczema. I didn't know exactly what was happening. So I went to the doctor for the first time about this when I was, I think, 23. It was maybe a year after my husband and I got married, and the doctor did diagnose me with eczema, and she prescribed me a steroid cream, a corticosteroid. And I put that cream on my eczema, and it would help calm it down for a little while, but then the eczema would just keep coming right back and right back. And when it came back, it would be worse than it was before. And I noticed that whenever I used the cream, like it was making my skin like more thin and brittle and even easier to break when my skin was so dry. So I went to the doctor a few more times over the next few years for the same thing. And every time she would prescribe me a different cream. One time she referred me to a dermatologist. So I went to the dermatologist and they did allergy testing on me. So they put some patches on my back, about 30 different patches with different allergens, and whichever spot on my back got really red and itchy and showed, the most inflammation, those were the things that I was allergic to. So I got the results back and found out there were a few things I was allergic to. They were bacitracin, which is what Neosporin is made of, which is what I was putting on my hands to heal those open sores, and then cigarette smoke, and then gold plating, and a type of a grass. So I made sure not to use Neosporin on my open sores anymore. I tried to stay away from people that were smoking, which my father-in-law was a smoker. He never smoked in front of me, but he, just had that lingering smell on him. And then I also stopped wearing most jewelry, especially necklaces, because my neck did have, eczema on it. So I stopped wearing necklaces for a while. So after avoiding those allergens, I really didn't notice that much of a difference in my eczema. I think the only place it may have helped a little bit was on my neck where I was wearing necklaces. However, a while after I stopped wearing necklaces and my neck cleared up, it did come back on my neck. So that was definitely not the only reason for my eczema. So even after avoiding those things, didn't see much of a change at all. I knew there had to be something else to this. It was not just from allergies. So I went to the doctor a few more times throughout the next few years, and each time I went, I was prescribed something else, a different lotion or a cream or a foam one time. And I was told to, keep my hands moisturized. So just, put on lotion. I was told to, put gloves on over the lotion when I went to sleep, and to just use those creams whenever I had a flare-up. Yeah, so that doesn't make eczema go away. I was tired of being told the same things over and over and being prescribed like medication after medication and nothing working. All those things, all those creams and everything were masking the symptoms for a little bit. They would make the eczema lessen a little bit, but they didn't get to the root cause of the issue. No one ever told me why I had eczema and if and how I could actually heal my eczema and not have flare-ups anymore. I'm the type of person that likes to question things. I like to know the reason that things happen. All the doctors and chiropractors and physical therapists and people that I go to probably get annoyed by me because I ask lots of questions. I want to know what's going on and why they're doing what they're doing. So it was about 4 years ago, if I'm remembering correctly, that I had like a come to Jesus moment, an aha moment, when I realized that I had to be my own health advocate. Am I a doctor? No, but I know how to read, I know how to do research, and I know my own symptoms, and I know how to try different things out and experiment and see what works and what doesn't work. So I realized that I had to be my own health advocate. I had to figure this out once and for all. I knew it was up to me to try different things out and see what would cure my eczema. So I am so thankful for doctors and all the hard work that they do. They do a lot of good and help a lot of people. I'm not trying to bash doctors whatsoever. However, I was getting frustrated and it's not their fault. But sitting with me for 5 minutes and looking at my hands and prescribing another cream to try and not like talking with me and telling me what it was caused from, what was going on, and what other lifestyle things I could do to not get eczema flare-ups and heal from my eczema, that just wasn't doing it for me. It wasn't enough. I wanted to be healed from eczema, not get flare-ups every week. So I remember one afternoon I was starting to sweep the floors with my hands that had open sores on them and were super itchy and hurt just from holding the broom. But I started to sweep and I wanted to turn on a podcast to listen to. And up until this point, I hadn't listened to podcasts yet. I think podcasts then were just starting to become more popular. So I was trying out a podcast for the first time and I was thinking, I wonder if eczema has anything to do with like what I'm eating. I wonder. And so I searched for a podcast and I don't even remember like what I put in, what I searched for, but I do remember what came up. It was an episode of the Wellness Mama podcast, which you've probably heard of it. At this point in time, I had never heard of Wellness Mama. I had no clue who she was. I feel like now everybody knows who she is, but that could just be like the circle that I surround myself with. But I don't even remember what the episode was about. It was something health related. And I remember whatever it was, like I was so intrigued. And it was about something that like I had never thought about before. And it was like, whoa, what? It was something about food. Besides having eczema, I wasn't that healthy of a person. I definitely had weight to lose. This was 1 year after my youngest son was born, and I still had extra weight to lose that I hadn't lost after having my baby. And I definitely was not eating, a healthy diet. I was eating a typical American diet. So besides, wanting to cure my eczema, I wanted to become healthier too. So this was the beginning of my health journey. I listened to the Wellness Mama podcast. I listened to even more podcasts about health and wellness. I read lots of blog posts. I read books about health and wellness, and I was just soaking up all the information. And as I was learning, I was trying different things out, doing different things here and there, and seeing what worked and what didn't really work. And I found what worked. I finally figured out how to cure my eczema. And I kept learning more and more, and like 2 years after that, 2019, was when I started my blog, Britt Brings It Home, because I was like fired up and I wanted to share health and wellness tips along with organization tips that I love. Organizing is one of my hobbies. I wanted to share these things with other people. And then last year, 2020, is when I started my YouTube to share with even more people here on YouTube. So that's part of my journey. That's the beginning of my journey. How I got from having no clue what was happening to my body, what eczema even was, to figuring out that I had eczema and trying different things out and nothing working, to becoming frustrated, to then becoming my own health advocate, finding out information, trying things out, and figuring out what worked and actually curing my eczema. So catch the next video in this series soon to figure out what I did to cure my eczema and what you can do to heal your own eczema if you have it, or help someone that is dealing with eczema. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share with a friend that might need this information also. It might need to hear the next video coming up to heal their eczema. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell button to get notifications and be able to see when that next video comes out. All right, guys, I really appreciate you watching. If you made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and I hope you stick around and come back for the next one. From my home to yours. See you next time.